welcome. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hey.
Happy 2019.
2019's ringing in a whole new year here at that hashtag show. Happy New Year to all of you guys out there as well. Thank you so much for spending your Thursday with Jezzer and I as we talk about superheroes. We're going to talk about DC and Marvel. We're equal opportunity here. We think both are going to do great in the coming up year. But we're going to talk about what to expect, talk about where things are headed, and talk about everything that we're going to be getting in 2019. But Jezzer, how was your New Year?
It was good. Almost got kicked out of Universal.
I know you said that on Instagram Live, literally seconds before. You almost got kicked out of Universal Studios.
Yes, sir.
Why does that not surprise me?
Nothing. I don't think anything surprises you anymore.
Not with you.
Not with me.
Not with you. So if any, I got a question for you. See, I know that you're not drinking. Yeah, that's bullshit. But here's what I do know is that Jezzer, if somebody sees you at a convention and they offer you to buy you a drink, will you turn it down?
Hell no.
Hell no.
It's a free drink.
It's a free drink. Well, guess what? We're going to be at the Pasadena Comic-Con hosting a panel, actually, a couple of panels, doing a Power Rangers panel and How to Break Into Geek Media panel. Now, the How to Break Into Geek Media panel is going to have a lot of us hashtaggers on there with a lot of other people we work with. So if you want to know what we do and how to do it properly and how to get access to things and how to do cool things, I recommend getting your spot at Pasadena Comic-Con. We'll put an event up very soon, and also all of you fans that are in Power Ranger fans, you guys can check, well, at least me out. It's going to be a Power Ranger panel with Steve Cardenas, the Red Cycle, also the Red Cycle Ranger, and special guest Blue Hyperforce Ranger Andre.
Oh,
so,
I was thinking
Yoshi?
No, Mike Chat.
Oh.
For some reason, I Blue Hyperforce.
He was not blue, nor was he in Hyperforce.
Mike
so that didn't make any sense.
He was Blue Lightspeed.
He was yeah, that's true. Yeah. He was Blue Lightspeed. So yeah, Jezzer, you found yourself in a little bit of trouble in New Year's. How'd you get out of it?
My friend actually got me out of it. She stopped me before they actually got there. She kind of like
she stopped you.
She stopped them. She's like, "No, I got this, and she kind of pulled me aside.
How does anybody stop you from going from Jezzer mode, from cookie face mode?
I don't know. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that thing that Black Widow does with the Hulk, where
the sun's getting real low.
Sun's getting real low.
Sun's getting real. Well, that's a great segue into one of our subjects this week. But by the way, we're in convention season. We're going to be full throttle in just a couple weeks with every convention coming your way throughout the world, actually. So, you got to go there in style with some gear, and there's no better place to get it than that hashtagshow.com/store. That's right.
Whoa.
We opened up a freaking store. Check out our
website.
website. The cool thing about this website, though, is that if you can buy anything on Amazon, and the proceeds of your purchase, it's not paying any extra money, but proceeds of your purchase help support the show and the website.
Cool.
So that is awesome. So if you ever want to go on Amazon, hit up our website first. Go to our store and type in what you're looking for, from batteries to male enhancement. Well, I don't care. They probably don't sell those.
No.
They definitely sell
on Amazon. Actually, they might sell the little pills you can get at the
there you go.
gas station.
Action figures, Transformers, comic books, whatever you're looking for, Kamen Rider stuff, Power Ranger stuff. It is all there. All you got to do is hit up that hashtagshow.com/store, and it'll be right there for you. Nice. All right, so I want to ask you a question.
What up?
Going into 2019, if you had to say, well, coming out of 2018, who had the bigger year, Marvel or DC?
Ooh.
Is that really an ooh?
Actually, it's still Marvel. I think it's still Marvel.
Yeah.
They had Black Panther and they had the Infinity War.
I agree with you. I would agree with you. All right, so let's talk about that for a second. And going into 2019, what are you most excited about?
The conclusion of Infinity War with Endgame. Captain Marvel, but I'm also excited about Shazam.
Who was the biggest year in 2019?
Ooh, I think it's still Marvel.
So you don't think Shazam, Wonder Woman, and the Joker can compete with that?
Oh, yeah, the Joker is definitely a wild card. That's I think Joaquin Phoenix is definitely gonna surprise a lot of people. So I think it's gonna be very close.
I'm shocked that this shampoo and conditioner thing picked up. It's in the chat. By the way, guys, in the chat, thank you guys so much for joining us. We got Jay Boss in here, comic realtor, Blackwing. Thank you guys so much for spending your Thursday evening with us. And obviously you can watch us right here at that hashtag show, but you can also support the show by using the super chat feature, which also helps support the show. And we do have cool events planned throughout the year this time. So if you guys want more things like Power Morphicon prom. Not Power Morphicon prom, but like
Never
Power Morphicon
happening
prom.
again.
Never happening again, at least by us, which means it's probably not going to be as good. But that also means that we're going to be doing cooler things, or maybe, I don't know, I don't want to say cooler, but we're going to be doing same
More
level things that are
same
just different. But we're going to be doing them throughout the year, and hopefully throughout different cities, because one of the ones we're working on is Pasadena, Texas. What does that mean?
That means Power Morphicon Express, maybe?
So if you want to see us in Pasadena, Texas, let Power Morphicon know,
Yeah,
and we'll get there. But, all right, so let's get back about 2019 in the movies. You're looking forward to the most, obviously, Avengers Endgame.
Yes.
Okay, so do you think, and your sleeper hit is obviously the Joker.
No, actually, no. I think it's going to do well. It's definitely not going to be a regular superhero story, but I think it's
supervillain story.
Supervillain story. But I think it's going to do well. Probably the sleeper for me might actually be. I think Shazam might be a sleeper.
I kind of do too. I'm not going to
I
lie
think
to you.
like a lot of people are sleeping on it a little bit because Shazam's not like the most popular DC character out there. He's kind of like, it's kind of kooky. It's kind of weird seeing like a little kid turn into a big buff superhero. But
It's like big.
Yeah.
Chat, I want to know, what movie are you most looking forward to, and what do you think is going to be, in terms of superheroes, and what do you think is going to be the dark horse movie that might surprise everybody? I want to know in the chat right now, so let me know. But before we get into what they think it is, let's break this down a little bit. Now, we're going to start off, you want to start off with Marvel or DC?
With Marvel?
Marvel, okay. We're going to start off on the Marvel side of things. Now, we know that 2018 was a great year for Marvel with the release of Black Panther, which is getting nominated across the board for a lot of awards.
Yeah.
Also, Avengers Infinity War, which was an amazing feat all to itself.
Which is on Netflix now.
It's on Netflix now.
Yeah.
Go and watch it. But those movies coming out of... Oh, we already got a super chat.
Super chat.
All right, Toku has a great one. He thinks Spawn's going to be the sleeper.
Is that coming out next year?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well... Todd McFarlane really wants it to come out next year, but...
Oh, man, Todd McFarlane. Oh.
You want to tell him a good Todd McFarlane story since they did a super chat?
The way that Todd McFarlane pitched, what was it?
The teaser?
He's
like, I'm going to have a lamp go off.
I'm going to have a lamp go off, and Jeremy Renner's going to be there. He's going to like, oh, here's a lamp, and then that's the end of the trailer. Because what trailer? They were talking about the Venom trailer, where it's just like him driving and shaking, and then that's it. It's like, that's the Spawn trailer. It's just going to be Jeremy Renner in the room, and he's going to have a lamp. He's going to put it on the ground, and then he's going to say, Spawn. That's it.
I love talking to Todd McFarlane.
He is so funny.
And the funny thing is, when he was like acting out everything, I was like, Todd, why don't you just do this yourself? Like, he like pitched it as he was acting it out.
And he always meets with us like at the very end of the day.
Yeah, all 3 seasons.
Maybe I'll watch it.
How did we lose audio?
Audio should be back.
Okay, we're back. I think the audio's back. Okay, so let's go back to this Marvel thing. So we already know what we're getting into with Marvel right now. We're gonna have Captain Marvel.
Yep.
We have Avengers Endgame and Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about this. Break down for a little bit. Obviously, the most anticipated movie is Endgame.
Yep.
Do you think that Captain Marvel's getting overshadowed because of that?
A little bit, but I feel like Captain Marvel has something to bring to the table, as far as like, it's gonna surprise a lot of people definitely, because it's gonna go back to the roots of Samuel L. Jackson's character and Coulson, and we're gonna get to see the Skrulls finally, which the Skrulls we've been wanting to see for a long time. Like, we thought we were gonna get the Skrulls in the first Avengers movie, But
Speaking of scrolls, did you see our story on that #show.com about how they've already planted the seeds of Secret Invasion?
yes, that
Check out that #show.com, and it's all there. They planted the seeds of Secret Invasion and a Marvel handbook. So that Marvel handbook, oh yeah, the noise is buzzing is back too. But anyway, we're going to fix the noise in just a second. But the Marvel handbook did absolutely have something that alluded to Secret Invasion.
that is dope.
But let's talk about Captain Marvel for a second, because that's our first big superhero on the docket here.
Yeah.
Do you think that Marvel's behind the ball, though, by making a female lead superhero movie so late in the game?
Maybe a little bit, but I feel like you're saying, as far as like Wonder Woman, when Wonder Woman came out,
I mean, DC did it
DC had like
in
a
their
jump on it.
cinematic universe, yes.
I think so, but I don't think it's gonna hurt them so much. I think the story of Captain Marvel and how it's all gonna play out in Endgame is gonna excite a lot of people.
Okay, so I think that we have a lot to look forward to in Endgame. I think for you, it's mostly the Skrulls, not so much Captain Marvel herself, but the Skrulls.
The Skrulls and the Kree war.
Okay, so you're more about the space stuff in the Marvel.
I do like
Marvel
the space
universe.
stuff in the Marvel universe. Yeah.
Now we know that this is going to take place in the mid-90s.
Mm-hmm.
Being almost a period piece, what can you be looking forward to?
We saw that her and her like partner are in Jezzer and stuff like that. So like the little Top Gun references, maybe
Sure.
a little, because I love Top Gun.
One thing that I think could be cool in this movie is something that we see in a lot of tropey movies that take place in the 90s or the 80s, which we've seen. And if you go back and watch our episode of the Box Office Showdown about Bird Snatcher, what's it called? Vanderbush?
No.
Whatever. The Black Mirror thing.
Now I can't even remember what it is.
If you go back watch Bird Snatcher, then and you choose those things, the music is so iconic to the episode
Yes.
that I think that this Captain Marvel movie
Is
can
gonna
have
be-
the same effect,
yes.
where it can have all this 90s or this like mid 90s kind of like.
I was
music.
watching with my little cousin, and when I chose one of the songs, she's like, what the hell is that song? I was like, are you serious?
Now I do want to talk about this with Marvel in specific. Do you think that they're using Captain Marvel as a catapult to get people on board for event? I mean, you don't gotta really entice the audience to watch Avengers Endgame.
People
but,
are going to want to watch because they want to see what happens.
But how big of a role do you think Captain Marvel is going to play in the movie?
A lot of people are theorizing that she's the one that's going to save Tony Stark up in space.
I don't think that's a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only option. I mean, he's stuck up there. So, yeah, they're saying that that's how she's going to come in. Do you remember in Infinity War how excited everybody got when Thor, Rocket, and Groot came in? I think it's going to be that kind of impact when it's going to be, like, down to the wire, everything's going really bad.
Where he's like, I am Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
I am
Where
Groot. I am Steve Rogers.
everything's going to shit. They're all losing, and all of a sudden, here comes Captain Marvel with Iron Man and saving the day.
If we do get this epic story that Marvel's been building for the last 11 years at this point now, do you think it's impossible for it to let fans down? Because I think there's a lot of pressure here. This is Endgame. This is Avengers 4. This is what 11 years at this point for Marvel has been building up to. Mm-hmm. How much pressure is on the studio to not let fans down?
I feel like they already have the framework there, so I don't think there's... You have to really, really mess this up for fans.
Yeah.
Anything that you give them right now, they're gonna eat it up.
All right, let's go to the chat real quick. While we got you guys here, we asked earlier what movies are you looking forward to. I saw a lot about Avengers Endgame. Mm-hmm. There was also a Spawn Sleeper in there. Yeah, go ahead, Ro. Take the vodka. Now, Ro's here, guys. If he can jump in, you want to jump in for a second, Ro?
Yeah, sure.
He can jump in. Ro's actually here, guys.
What's happening? Happy New Year, fellas.
Happy New Year, buddy.
Howdy, peeps.
But
What are you guys talking about?
Wait, what superhero movie are you most looking forward to?
I'm actually looking forward most to the Joker. I think that's the wild card. I mean, it's a super villain. I think that's the wild card movie of the year. I am not looking forward to Shazam. I don't know if Zachary can act. I don't know anything.
Those are fighting words to Jezzer.
You know,
he named a kid after.
Yeah.
I just
Wait,
don't like
you have a kid. You named a kid after. You named your kid after.
But I think the Joker is the real X factor in the year. And how is Star Wars going to affect the box office? The final Star Wars movie coming out in 2019 What's that going to do to the box office of all these superhero
I don't
movies?
think it's going to do much, mainly because I think that the superhero movies were pretty smart by not releasing movies in December because of Star Wars. But if you want to find out Ro's extended thought, too much tequila. That's not tequila. That's vodka.
Vodka. It's neft fucking vodka.
If you want to find out more of Ro's extended thought on what he's going to be thinking about the Star Wars Episode 9 coming out in December, tune in to Star Wars Fanatics
with our special guest this weekend.
Huh?
Star Wars Theory.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. The guys from Star Wars Theory, they broke the internet with the Vader short film. Dupree and the film director, his name is slipping me now. They're both coming on the Star Wars Fanatic this Sunday to talk about their 4 million views in 3 days movie. So
we can't wait to talk about that, guys. So join us. That'll be on Facebook Live on Star Wars Fanatics. So check that out live. But back to this, Jezzer, you're excited for Captain Marvel. What seems to be your excitement about that. Yeah. But that's going to lead us right into Endgame, and I want to get into that.
Endgame.
So Star Wars.
What
the fuck is going on with me today? Avengers Endgame. This is going to be Avengers 4, but this is also going to be the finale of what everything's been building up to. We got into the super chat.
Nice.
This is from Artie Emini. He says, Joker will either save DC or finish them.
Ooh.
What do you got to say about that, man?
Maybe. I mean, I don't think it's within that the DCEU universe.
Hey, get into the chair. I don't like you being so shorter than me when we're sitting down. Get into the chair.
Shut up.
What?
Continue. Shut up. Continue.
We got a booster seat.
You got a booster seat for you?
We need to get a booster seat from the movie theater.
All right.
Do you think it could mess up the? I mean, DC's messed up so many times already.
I don't. You know what? I don't know, man. I look back on these DC, and I was the biggest. I'll tell you.
Even Batman v Superman.
I actually like Batman v Superman.
Oh my god!
I like it.
That's the only one out of this whole thing that I didn't like.
I think the only one I didn't. I really
loved
didn't
Man
like.
of Steel.
I love Man of Steel too.
Yeah.
I think Suicide Squad for me is kind of the one I hate.
It's that girl with the weird hand thing. It's like, what is this?
What are you doing?
She was doing that. No, like that powers that she had. Enchantress. That's the worst villain to choose.
What did you just call it?
Enchantress.
Okay.
Enchantress? Yeah, whatever.
Hey, you would really like Prison.
What?
You would really like Prison. All right, so that's an Office reference. You don't get it?
Which episode would that be?
Never mind. I'll talk to you about it later. I do want to talk about this, though. I want to talk about Avengers Endgame before we get into DC. Okay. Avengers Endgame is going to be what everything's been building to. Mm-hmm. Now, I asked you if they can let fans down. There's a lot of pressure on the studio here. Here's an interesting thought, though, I honestly think after Avengers Endgame, it really can turn the tides to DC's favor.
Yes. You think that's the peak? That's the...
So where do you go from there?
Where do you really go from there? And
the lineup
have they really set up anything?
Well, we know that Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah.
We know Black Widow, and we know Eternals.
Eternals, though, that's a gamble.
But that's my point. That's my
gamble.
point. All of it. But so is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
But I do think that that's kind of my point. I think that... And going back and look, Aquaman's about to make $1 billion.
Yes.
Right? So if you think about what Aquaman, like Doctor Strange too, I didn't give a fuck about Doctor Strange 1.
Do you think DC should start green lighting a bunch of their other movies that they had?
I think DC. Listen, I think DC's in a good position. The one thing that DC has going for them, is they have extremely strong female characters, and if we're looking at box office record, those characters can perform well. If you look. If we got a Birds of Prey movie, which we know is on the docket, and it's being written by the same writer that did Bumblebee, I am on board.
If you guys
1,000%.
haven't seen Bumblebee, that was definitely the sleeper this
December. I'm gonna go. Yes, I'm also gonna say that sleeper. Especially the end of 2018. I go and watch Bumblebee. It's a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's actually a really good movie.
Really good.
Forget about all the other Transformers movie. Even if you haven't seen any of them, it doesn't matter.
The intro to the whole movie was great.
Go and watch Bumblebee. You will not be disappointed. But I do want to talk about the DC universe, and this is the reason why. I'm sorry. I want to talk about Avengers Endgame. This is the reason why.
Okay.
So we're building up to all these things, and the 6 of original Avengers can't all be coming back.
No, definitely.
So
I think we're definitely losing 2.
Let's do a Deadpool right now. We're gonna vote.
Like we did with with Infinity War.
Oh, thank God you said that. I thought you were going to say something else, and I was like, oh God.
Wait.
Yes, Infinity War.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I was gonna say.
Let's. You almost had me there. Who do you think's going to make it? Who do you think's not going to make it?
Tony's not going to make it.
I say Tony is also not going to make it.
He's not going to make it.
Okay.
Let's also on that
Thor?
list. Thor's going to make it.
Thor will make it. I agree.
Because I felt like they finally found how to make a good Thor movie, and they're not going to let that go right now. Even if he's not with the Avengers.
By the way, audience, chat.
Yeah.
Give us your Deadpool. Who's going to make it? Who's not going to make it?
Even if Thor's not with the Avengers no more, he could have his own story.
Yeah.
He can have his own story.
Now we got Hulk.
Hulk is gonna make it because we really haven't gotten anything from him, other than the first 2 movies.
I also think Hulk makes it.
Yeah, Hulk makes it.
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye makes it.
I also think Hawkeye's
Hawkeye's gonna make it.
I think there's gonna be a big redemption there. I think Hawkeye will definitely make it through. Black Widow.
Black Widow. I think she's gonna make it.
No, I don't think Black Widow makes it. Well, to me, all right, that's my first one.
First one.
Black Widow for me. I think she's done.
You think she's dead?
I think she's dead. I don't think the character's done in the MCU.
No, yeah, because
she's dead.
Doesn't she have a movie coming out?
Yeah, we got another super chat. Toku says DC will get single hits, but Marvel will stay above. We'll see about that. All right, but keep going. So I think Black Widow's dead. You think she's staying?
Yep.
Pretty much. You only said Tony. I think Tony and Black Widow.
I think Drax is gonna die.
Well, no, that's not the original 6.
Oh, the original 6. Captain. He's gonna leave, but there's gonna be a window for him to come back.
I agree. He'll be staying back in the 1940s.
He's gonna. Same with Thor. Those 2, the main 3 are gonna leave, with Tony staying gone forever. But Thor and Captain are gonna. There's gonna be a door for them to come back into this.
I almost get a feeling that they're gonna change history so much that the Guardians of the Galaxy have never met.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Really?
They're gonna change things in the movie. Bold theory. I know it's crazy.
Okay.
I think they're going to change things so much in the movie that the Guardians of the Galaxy have never met.
Mm-hmm.
And the next Guardians movie is going to be a fresh start.
Ooh. I do really want to see the story with Sylvester Stallone in that team, though.
That might be the Guardians movie. Let's talk about what the chat had to say. Blackwing says Tony and Cap are kicking the bucket for sure.
For sure?
We also got Toku who says, I say Drax, Hulk, and War Machine and Widow will all die.
I don't think War Machine's gonna die.
Zonation 1 says Captain America's biting it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think War Machine's gonna die. He's already like paralyzed. I mean, what else? You can't do anything else to that guy. He's got a big old.
Hey man, that's he's handy capable, not handicapped, you idiot. All right, let's go back and talk about this though, because after, do you think this? Oh, we got another super chat. Go ahead, Jezzer, read it.
The Blur says, "I just want them to come, be over, and move on."
Okay,
that's what she said.
That's. Let's wait for that. All right, Jezzer. So if we do get, what's the one thing that you want to see out of Endgame to happen? Like, because here's the thing: we've built this all up, this Marvel thing, this big Marvel last 11 years. What do you absolutely want to see, and what do you not want to see?
I don't know about the timing, but I think I want to see like a window and opportunity to throw in those Fox characters.
Oh, I like that.
Some way, sort of way.
Now officially
today, but some way to bring them in, because I think, I think it's perfect timing. You know, we have Endgame, and then where else are we gonna go? There's only one way to go. It's start off with X-Men and Fantastic Four.
Yeah, on the count of 3, let's say who we would choose as Mr. Fantastic. Ready? 1, 2, 3. John Krasinski. Matthew McConaughey.
Well, I gotta keep going with my original Fantastic Four casting, right?
Did you just say Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah.
Like, as Mr. Fantastic, the brilliant Mr. Fantastic talking to Sue and going, all right,
no,
all
he's
right,
like, he pulls down his pants and his things. I was like, all right.
Which Fantastic Four version are you going with? I don't know what we're doing here. That's an interesting choice. But I do like John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic.
There are even a lot of fan art.
Is John?
John, yeah.
Hey, you know who was the first one that invented that theory?
Who's that?
This guy.
You were the first one? The very first one?
Go look at the interview!
Very first one?
Go look at my John Krasinski interview. Okay. If he books that job, he owes me 10% of his paycheck. John, if you book that job, you owe me 10% of the paycheck.
He's probably just going to buy you a pizza and that's it.
Fuck the pizza. Fuck The pizza. Oh man, I said it twice now, but we're late. We're on late enough.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about now. You said that what you wanted. You wanted to introduce those Fox characters. I agree with you.
Yes.
I also think that for me personally, coming out of Endgame, the one thing that I definitely want is seeing that next generation of Marvel characters, like at the front of it. Like I want to see Spider-Man. I want to see Captain Marvel. I want to see the Black Panther. I want to see characters that they haven't even put on the docket yet. You know what I mean? Like I want to see those characters front and center for me. Like I think that there's a lot of story left to tell.
It's kind of like a passing of the torch.
Yeah, I think you kind of need it at this point. It's 11 years. It's been 11 years, and I think.
So do you think
I think that's where Star Wars fucked up actually?
Because they didn't really pass the torch.
They didn't really pass the torch, and I think this is a proper way to do that.
Because, it has been 2 movies already within the trilogy, and they're still kind of like...
I mean, the only time a real passing of the torch didn't really work out was when Harrison Ford did Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls with Shia LaBeouf. That was not a passing of the torch. That went really wrong.
Wow.
Nuke the fridge.
Wow.
Anyway, I think that I would really like to see them pass the torch to this younger era of Marvel heroes. I really should say this new era of Marvel heroes, and I think that would be super.
So what do you think? Do you think they're going to recast the whole?
No, not recast. I don't think they're going to recast. I think that we're going to get a new set of heroes that we focus in on.
No, I'm talking about bringing in the Fox characters.
Oh yes, I think
100% they're recasting.
I think the only character that you can't or don't really recast is Deadpool. Because
everybody else
yeah, I mean Hugh Jackman's out. I think that it's unfortunate because Hugh Jackman.
Have you seen those pictures of Keanu Reeves as Wolverine?
I have. I'm not
on board with it.
I don't think I'm sold as Keanu Reeves as Wolverine really as much. I mean, I'm sure that we've done casting about Wolverine here at that hashtag show, but I think that you would make a good Wolverine. You got another. There you go.
Another super chat from Toku Kid. He says, "Young Avengers with Spidey as a team leader." Yeah, maybe. I think it's still a little early to. I don't think we've seen what Spidey can do yet. We'll have to wait till
I spilled vodka on my pants.
Far from home.
Okay, so I do want to talk about though one thing that you had just mentioned, the recasting of all these things, because it's so hard to see another actor play Wolverine after Hugh Jackman. But Hugh Jackman did have a swan song. Logan is almost the perfect outro for Wolverine.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
But Marvel has been taking so many leaps and bounds with their characters. For example, Hope Van Dyne. She's not an actual Marvel character. She was in an alternate universe, and they brought her in, and now she's the Wasp. So, do you think we'll actually get Logan? By the way, I had the weirdest dream last night.
I
did. I had a dream that accidentally Dish Network released Avengers 4, and it was a mistake. So I started watching. I was like, "Is this supposed to be out?" And I was going to get my phone to record it, and I rewound it back, and then it was like, "Oh, this was up by an error." But then I remember there was certain scenes that had happened. I saw all of Thanos' villains talking about coming down to Earth, but then they said, "Hey, shut up." They said that Earth is protected by Logan and 4 other people or 5 other people. And then after that, they went to where all the Nova Corps was, and the Nova Corps was like, we got to get the one kid, the one person that can turn this all around, and his name is the Kid. And I texted one of our writers, Charles Murphy, who does all our Marvel exclusives. And I texted him, "Who's the Kid?" And he wrote back, and he was like, "Oh, it's this character that da-da." And I actually texted him that today. I was like, "Hey, is there a character named the Kid?" And he's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah, it's that little kid from that Bruce Willis movie.
Anyway, it didn't quite work out the way it did in my head, but it's fine. But I do think that. Do you think they go with X-23 or Wolverine?
I think they might go with Wolverine again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Wolverine's just a name. He can. Yeah, he can. We have a question from
Go ahead. Question from the audience.
Has Marvel gone out of the way to say which other cast members of different teams may have survived, like Deadpool or the X-Men?
No.
Have not.
Nothing's been clear about any of those Fox characters.
Voice just cracked
Thanks,
a
I
little
heard
bit.
that. Thanks for calling that out there, buddy. I appreciate that. No, that is not clear. We don't know who's going to be doing what. However, one thing you notice that we hadn't mentioned here is what the Fox characters, because there's obviously a Twitter picture that released of the Dark Phoenix, and it was them at a funeral. And
it's like the funeral of Dark Phoenix,
right? And I was like, there's so many fitting quotes of oh, this is such a fitting post to put. I think that the Fox X-Men era is done. It's almost done.
So what is the point of even releasing these films?
I don't think they're going to. I'll be honest with you.
You don't, with all the advertisements they had for Dark Phoenix, you don't think they're going to release it?
Look, Dark Phoenix maybe, but I almost think
New
for
Mutants,
sure New
no.
Mutants is not coming out.
For real?
If I had to say, to me it makes the most sense to put that movie and Dark Phoenix on the Disney streaming site. And just being like, hey, guess what we have of these movies?
But it has
nothing to do with
connected to.
There's nothing to do with anything.
See, but that's also the thing that Marvel or the MCU's got a problem with too. They're not even connecting really the Marvel TV shows to the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Like none of them.
Isn't it interesting that they
Yes.
canceled Daredevil and now the biggest hit on Marvel is a
Yes. blind
person that has to use that ability to get through the night?
And they're still they
Bird
just
Box.
released the trailer for Punisher season 2.
Actually looks great.
Yeah.
I think Punisher looks great.
I think he's the out of
Punisher's my favorite
yes,
out of all of
Punisher is
them.
the best one.
All right, so let's move forward now, projecting ourselves further into the MCU, and then we're going to round out the MCU, and then we're going to move on. Let's talk about Spider-Man Far From Home. What are you looking forward to, and what are you expecting? I mean, I feel like this one's lower on your radar.
It's because there hasn't been a lot shown about it.
Yeah, we don't have a trailer. We were supposed to get one.
They showed a trailer in Brazil that they said that Mysterio's a good guy.
Well, he's like an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
in the movie,
that's-
apparently.
Of course he's gonna turn on them.
And apparently, in the trailer, he makes these villainous things for Spider-Man to fight, and I guess for him to fight, to defeat, so he can become a hero. But it's really just his...
To build himself up.
Right, it's really just a projection.
They said the elements or something?
So I had a theory about this, about
Yeah.
the trailer, which actually didn't come true, apparently from what they released in Brazil. But here's my theory on what I thought the trailer was going to be. I thought the trailer was going to be Spider-Man saving the day, doing his thing from Far From Home, and then at the end of the trailer he unmasks and it's Jake Gyllenhaal as Spider-Man. But here's the reason why. Because A, Peter Parker disappeared in the Thanos snap, and B, that's actually what happened in the actual Spider-Man comic with Mysterio, is he was masquerading as Spider-Man.
Okay.
So for me, I thought that was the perfect way to kind of introduce that character in a trailer, being like, oh wait, we have a new Spider-Man?
Do you also think that's why they're not releasing the Spider-Man trailer because Endgame hasn't shown yet?
It's possible, but I don't...
Wait, Spider-Man doesn't come out till what? June or July?
We're going to get a trailer soon.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't think it's inevitable.
Like a teaser trailer.
I mean,
you don't want to reveal too much as far as how he comes back.
There's a lot of theories out there, but what can be going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely think we're going to get a trailer very soon, and it's unfortunate mainly because it kind of ruins some of Endgame.
Yeah.
I feel like, because Spider-Man's coming back, so it leaves no stakes.
And then same with Black Panther. You knew Black Panther's gonna come back after.
Yeah, I heard a story about this. You want to hear a funny story?
Go for
So
it.
I heard a story that James Gunn was a big advocate of making sure T'Challa was the one that disappeared and not having him come back, because he didn't sign a contract to come back, and that they were going to give the Black Panther role to probably Shuri. That's a rumor, but I heard that was definitely something.
I mean,
that was
if they were gonna do that now, that'd be a mistake.
100%.
That would be a mistake.
100%. T'Challa coming out of 2019. T'Challa might be the biggest single superhero coming out of 2019.
Yeah.
Or 2018, I should say.
Hey, Shuri got dusted.
Shuri did get dusted, apparently.
Apparently.
But then we also saw Ant-Man there. I think maybe Shuri mistakenly went into hiding.
It went into hiding.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think M'Baku has to be sitting on the throne at the end of in the new Avengers movie.
Probably.
All right, let's move on now. You talked about Spider-Man a little bit. I mean, you're okay with it. I mean, you want it to come out, obviously, but you don't seem that excited about it.
If I would get excited about it if they were building a Spider-Man universe within that movie.
They are. It's called the Spider-Verse. Oh, go out and see that movie too. All right, let's move on to.
Talk about Sinister Six and all that.
Huh?
Sinister Six.
Oh, that would have been great. Let's talk about DC.
Okay.
And I think that we have a lot to talk about here, mainly because in the DC universe has been taken. I mean, it's been received pretty poorly throughout its run, but I think now they're starting to find their legs. I want to chat me up about the DC universe, the DCEU.
I think everybody was waiting.
Oh wait,
What?
before we get into that though,
What up?
we have a little break. Speaking of DC universe, one of the iconic writers for DC Comics. The reason why Johnny's not here is because he interviewed Jimmy Palmiotti, one of the iconic writers of some great DC books, and Johnny talks to Jimmy about What do you think? Comics and superheroes. Check it out.
He's live right now.
Out there want to work in these creative fields.
Okay.
They want to be comic book writers, comic book artists, and whatnot. And a lot of times you hear the same advice. They say, go out and make your own book. But my question for you is, once you've made your book,
Right.
what is the next step?
Make another book.
There you go.
No, I would. It's great that you make your own book, but it's sort of like it's how you deliver the book to people now. You have to get it out there. So it's not enough just to make your own book. Because let's be honest, as we can walk around the con, there's hundreds of books. So yeah, and he said, I'm doing a book about horses. Like he's doing about horse racers, anybody to do with horses, and then see if comic readers, if they have horse and comics in their description, follow them, and then start posting pages. Like you have to do stuff like that.
You have to find your market.
Find your market. What's the book you do?
I do a book called Black and Brown Hand. It's a black and brown exploitation comedy.
Okay.
It's kind of like The Pro in a way, but it's like from black and brown superhero perspective type.
Okay, so you got superheroes.
Yeah.
You got comedy.
Yep.
It's ethnic.
Yep.
Right? Okay. All right. So it's like these three things. It's big audiences, right? Because it's like, okay, so you're representing yourself on the book. You're representing superheroes. And then it's comedy, which everybody loves comedy.
Exactly.
And comedy is the hardest thing in the world to do. Why? Because if comedy was easy, every movie out would be a comedy because people want to see comedies. But it's not easy.
No.
When you do a comedy, it's the thing that gets the most. Okay, so you have to get out there. So you have to. So your market is it all ages or is it adult?
PG-13.
PG-13. Okay, so we're talking 12 and up.
Yep.
Right. So you focus on the market, right? Like you have to say, all right, this is my audience. How am I going to get these people to read it? So you got to go on social media. You got to push. You got to put pages of your book down or 2 pages. Get people hooked. You got to say, hey, you know what? You like what you read? Go to this thing, download the file. It's constant.
Right. It's that hustle, like always.
Constant. I've been hustling now 30 years. I still hustle, even though the DC. Look, I got lucky many times. Okay, half luck, a lot of hard work, and a lot of being nice to people because in the end that pays off. Being genuine with people, appreciating people for what they do. My guys always come back to work for me and work with me, and so it's tough. It's a lot of work, but you can do it. But it goes beyond. If it was just making a comic, well, then we'd have 1 million people. And also, comic people want celebrities.
Oh.
Jim Lee is the big guy on the show, right? People in line, fan for hours, and they want celebrities. So you got to be a celebrity. How do you become a celebrity?
How do you become a celebrity?
It's not an easy thing, right? But you do something very well. Make sure people appreciate it. Host panels. It's about you. You're doing it right now. You have a show. You're talking. People see you. They watch your show steady. He's a celebrity. You're a celebrity to the people who watch this all the time.
No.
But
Maybe?
it's true. But it's true, right? It's true. They know you. So take them further. Take them for a ride. Not only when you do the interviews, but say, hey, guys, by the way, this is what I read this week. This is what I watched this week. Let me know how you feel. Interact with people. Interaction on Twitter is how you get your numbers up. You answer the questions. You throw it out there. You got to be open to it. And you don't hate. People argue at you. You just say, sorry you feel that way. Have a nice day. I don't engage. The only power people have over you is your reaction to them. So don't empower them. I don't react. I just smile. Next time a guy gives you the finger out of a car, smile at him. See how he reacts. Think about it.
All right.
Guys yelling at you, giving you a finger, just smile and wave to him. Go hi.
It's like, screw you. Hey.
Right.
Have a great day, Joe.
What could piss you off more than that? Or he thinks, oh my God, I know that guy.
Right.
Like, and I just yelled at him. Right? It just shuts him down. So it's interesting stuff. But like I said,
I'm going to try that. I'm a little scared, but I'm going to try that.
You know. I'm from Brooklyn. I would yell at everything. You know, I don't know. I'm here. I've been on this earth for a long time, so I'm learning. These are. But again, for this business, you have to be out there. You have to be totally upfront. You got to be. You can't have a lot of skeletons in the closet.
Right.
Treat people well. Be nice to people. Be considerate. It goes a long way.
For sure.
We sit here, man, and I sit here. We're nice. They're here to see us, so why would I be an asshole and not be nice to them? Right. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't matter how big you are. You have to work. You have to hustle it the same as day one. So anyway, that's it.
A lot of our fans out there want to work in these creative fields.
Okay.
They want to be comic book writers, comic book artists, and whatnot. And a lot of times you hear the same advice. They say, go out and make your own book. But my question for you is, once you've made your book,
Right.
what is the next step?
Make another book.
There.
No.
That was awesome, Johnny. Congratulations on that interview. I don't know why I'm congratulating you. It's your fucking job. Jimmy Palmiotti is a great writer. I think that you should check out his books. He's all around the comic industry. Now, let's jump. Oh, also, he got optioned for his comic characters have gotten optioned off, which is pretty awesome.
Nice.
But let's talk about DC now, because we're on the other side of that coin.
Yeah.
And the last time DC did anything worth a damn,
Was Wonder Woman?
Aquaman
Oh yeah.
is making about $1 billion. Aquaman is killing it at the box office. I think that we're in a new era of DC movies, maybe a new era of DC in general.
They're not taking themselves too seriously anymore. Like
Yeah.
they're kind of like leaning into like what they are.
So now we're in the post Zack Snyder era.
Yes.
This is helping the universe.
Yes, definitely.
So we have the DC.
Did you like the Zack Snyder run?
I liked Man of Steel. I did like BVS. I know a lot of people didn't.
You liked Man of Steel. You liked them turning Superman in that kind of like broody.
He wasn't
dirt.
Superman at that point. He was just Clark from the farm
Okay.
and Krypton. Look, at the end of the day, here's what I really think was supposed to happen. I think because Christopher Nolan was an executive producer on Man of Steel.
Okay.
I think what was supposed to happen was that they were trying to convince Christopher Nolan to make it a part of his Dark Knight universe, which was a very grounded universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
This Batman universe. And I think that what happened was Christopher Nolan was like, no. That's why they made Superman so realistic. Because then if you have this dude coming from another planet that does all these things, and especially if you look at the age Christian Bale was and where he was in that last movie, and Christopher Nolan also has a story credit for Man of Steel as well.
Yeah.
But it also leads its way to being like, okay, maybe we can connect these universes. And then I think at the end of the day, they said, you know what, we're not going to do that anymore. They didn't ask Christian Bale back, but we're not going to do that.
Then that just left them in the dark a little
They
bit.
left them in the dark. However, I think that more people would have respected Man of Steel and liked it a lot more if Batman vs Superman was with Christian Bale's Batman.
True, but I did like Ben Affleck's Batman.
Personally, I think Ben Affleck is the best Batman.
Yes, because
with the
he's-
exception of Kevin Conroy. Relax, fanboys. Don't come out with your goddamn pitchforks. I don't need it right now.
No, because he had Batman and he was a good Bruce Wayne too.
It was great, Bruce
He was
Wayne.
both.
Like
'Cause-
those shoes.
Yeah. Like with Christopher Nolan's Batman, Christian Bale wasn't really a great Bruce Wayne.
I thought he was fine as Bruce Wayne
But
and
he was
Batman.
he was only Bruce Wayne for every movie, like
No,
maybe
to
10-20%
me,
of the
the
movie.
the biggest thing about Christian Bale wasn't he wasn't the great detective.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that with Ben Affleck, you're getting a little bit of that. Like you're getting him.
We had a little bit of it in
Fucking Alfred did everything.
Dark Knight. The Dark Knight when he was doing the ballistics testing.
Alfred did
yeah.
that, not Bruce Wayne. But I think that with the Batman that we ended up getting, I was perfectly fine with. But if you're going to go in this fantastical version of what we got in BVS,
Fantastical.
I mean, go all out, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like they kind of did, but you said it in a world that's so dark and gloomy and real that it doesn't quite work, right? And I don't have any problems with BVS. I mean, there's a couple problems, but I don't have any huge glaring problems like a lot of the mass majority did. It's when we get to Suicide Squad is when it drops off for me.
Oh man, looking back at that movie.
What?
Looking back at that movie is just crazy. I mean, the soundtrack was cool though.
The soundtrack's great, but you can when they're talking to Amanda Waller, and they're kind of like
Amanda Waller was actually really good.
she was great, but she was like, listen, we had the Superman, now we got to put something. If we ever had a threat against Earth, we got to put together a team. But you include Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
What the fuck is she gonna do?
I have no idea. There's so many Suicide Squad members that are really great, like Killer Frost and
Yeah, you had
Shark.
Captain Boomerang, who clearly gets stopped very easily by the Flash in that movie. By the way, why the fuck would you add him? Then you got what's the guy's name
Captain
that shot the
Boomerang was-
catapult and got his head blown off? And
Slipknot. Slipknot.
what? The only one that really
You needed cannon fodder. Yeah,
Sure,
you needed someone
sure.
to demonstrate what happens when you disobey.
Killer Croc, I can kind of understand.
Yeah.
What's
how about Diablo?
Diablo? Great, fine. He's fine. Deadshot,
Especially at the end when he turns into some fire demon thing.
Deadshot, I thought was great as well. Harley Quinn, I understand why she was in the movie, but it makes no sense.
What would happen if they had the original person that they wanted to choose for Rick Flag with the guy from Mad Max? What's his name?
Mad Max.
Yeah. Tom Hardy.
Well, Tom Hardy made a great decision.
You think so?
But then he was
you
in
think
Venom, so...
You think he would have saved saved it if he was?
No.
No.
Nothing could have saved that movie. You kidding me? Ben Affleck is Batman in that movie. I think another travesty of this is also Jared Leto's Joker is fucking terrible. Why do I need Cholo Joker? Like, what is with his goddamn tattoo across his forehead looking like a fucking half pimp, half It the Clown? It looked so stupid.
And he was barely in it, really.
Common was in this movie and he was completely wasted.
Oh yeah.
Common. Like, why would you put Common in such a shitty role that he did nothing in the movie?
He was supposed to be Green Lantern at one point, remember?
Katana's another one. She was one of the coolest characters in the movie and did nothing.
But she's nice though. She's really nice. Katana.
She's great in real life. She's a nice person. But she did nothing in this movie. If you're setting up a sequel, fine. But this Jared Leto Joker and his backstory, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of watching a fucking music video from the late 1990s that was directed by one of the people that did the Backstreet Boys or Britney Spears or something.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Mystery Men for some reason. Do you remember that movie with Ben Stiller and William H. Macy? Yeah, that's what, when you see them walking together, it's like, oh, it's the Mystery Men Part 2. You know? Even the effects were the same.
I didn't like it.
You don't like it.
Killer Croc was cool. Like,
yeah.
I like Killer Croc. I thought Will Smith's Deadshot was
Remember
really
when everybody
cool.
was like theorizing who Scott Eastwood's character was?
Yeah, they were like, oh, it's Nightwing.
It's Nightwing.
He's fucking nobody. Of course he's nobody. You know why? It was the DC at the time. But we're on an upward trend because after this you got Wonder Woman, which was pretty good.
So you're gonna still run with Harley Quinn with Birds of Prey?
I'm fine with it.
Throwing Harley Quinn's name.
It's something like that. So to me, I feel like, first of all, I didn't need a Harley Quinn in that movie. No. But if she's gonna be in it, fine. Margot Robbie's fine. I'm not terrible with it. I just think that Harley Quinn can be better served in either a different role or maybe not in this movie, because this really should highlight the female empowerment. I mean, I guess it's called the Emancipation of Harley Quinn, but it really should highlight the empowerment of, like, Catwoman.
Emancipation from Joker? You think that's what they're doing? Like,
no, the emancipation from Zurgatroyd. The fuck? Yeah, what do you think, man?
So maybe that's where they're gonna get their empowerment, their female empowerment.
They? Why would Poison Ivy need an emancipation of anybody?
Poison Ivy.
Or even Batgirl, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my problem with that, is that I think that we're kind of getting all these characters that, like, I understand why people like Harley Quinn, and I get it. But
would you remember at the end?
Why do you have glitter on your face?
What's she gonna do? Oh, do you remember with Stream is on the fritz. Stream is on the fritz.
That's because it's the internet shit.
You remember at the end of Justice League where they had Lex Luthor and Deathstroke meet up?
Yeah.
You think that's ever gonna happen?
I hope so, because they just introduced Black Manta and Aquaman.
Yeah.
I think that the better ending to that would have been
Black Manta coming out of the water.
Yeah. Honestly, they're on a boat, right?
Yeah, they're on a boat. He's like, "Hey, am I late?"
Missed opportunity. I actually do think that. A little bit. But I do think that Birds of Prey, to me, I'm not super excited for, mainly because it sounds so cheesy. However, you brought up some great points in the DC universe. Shazam, I am excited for,
because they're gonna be what they are, like.
Yeah, I mean,
they're
Shazam,
accepting what the movie is.
Yeah, and I also like that Zach, when we talked to Zach in New York, he pretty much said that, like, they took those characters that were in the DC universe almost as a documentary, and that this is just a fun movie.
Yeah.
And I think
so. It's happening within the background, but this is a contained story on its own.
Yeah, and I like Zach.
Yeah.
And I think the movie just looks fun.
Yeah.
And
you think a lot of people are gonna be kind of like wrapped up on how silly the suit looks and how?
Well, in the picture we had just showed, I don't think it looks silly at all.
You don't think so?
I think Zach looks great in the suit. I think the suit looks great too.
Yeah, the suit looks great. You don't think it looks?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's a kid that has wish fulfillment, right? I think the suit looks great. I mean, people are gonna complain about his muscle suit, but it's a kid with wish fulfillment. I think he looks great in the suit.
First off, Batman had a muscle suit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Ben Affleck did work out really
Yeah,
hard.
he did.
But in fairness, I think Zach looks great in the suit. I think the suit looks great itself. I don't think there's any problem. I don't have any problem with. Look, suit looks pretty good.
I think the supporting cast is gonna be really good. The kid from It, his sister who plays his sister, the parents.
I'm really excited
Yeah.
about Shazam, and I think that's a great choice for DC to go. Look, if you learned anything from Aquaman, Aquaman is not. It's not Godfather. Aquaman is just a fun movie.
It's a crazy.
It's a fun movie, but it's making $1 billion, so DC is on that track, and I think that Shazam is the perfect movie to follow that up.
Yep.
And I think that's why I say that DC's on the right track.
You think Rock's gonna make a cameo?
You
think so? You think so?
He's box office gold, bro.
Yeah.
He's The Rock.
The Rock.
He's Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Black Adam. Maybe like a little flashback with
Look,
the first Shazam.
I think The Rock can add a lot to that. I really, really think that DC getting The Rock is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Because Marvel's been doing a great job of building actors along the way.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't always been that case though, but they've been doing a really good job at that, and by building up younger actors. Where DC's really been relying on these established actors like a Ben Affleck, or like or like Dwayne Johnson, or even Margot Robbie.
So with the slate that they have now, what movie do you want to see next?
DC,
Uh-huh.
The Joker. Are you kidding me?
No, I mean like that's not already being released.
Oh, you mean something that hasn't been
what
announced?
they should start working on now.
Right. You know what? Honestly, Nightwing in the DCEU universe.
Really?
Yeah.
But a more grounded. It's going to be a grounded story, definitely.
Give me a Nightwing that's a grounded story, but really tell the story about how he left Bruce, and have Ben Affleck kind of play like a, Look, the one thing I love about Batman and Justice League, because I've been watching Justice League a lot lately, is that Batman. If you look at Batman's character, he's one of the most popular characters in comic books.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the most liked characters. Most people fantasize about wanting to be Batman. However, Batman in the movies, he's an asshole. Like, he's not somebody that's likable.
Mm-hmm.
Even Cyborg's
he's
like
in Justice League too, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Even in Justice League, where Cyborg's kind of like, I was running the numbers. We should bring Superman back. I was running the numbers while you were being an asshole. Like, he is a complete asshole in those movies.
No, I'm talking about the cartoon Justice League.
Oh,
he's still an asshole.
He's still the dude that nobody's like. You like to hang out with you.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
Definitely.
Am I the Bruce Wayne of? Am I the Batman of Hashtag Show?
I don't know.
Thanks, buddy.
But as far as, so you're saying,
yeah, if we were to choose somebody right now, I'd say Nightwing.
You say Nightwing.
Who would you say?
Nightwing would be a good idea if they incorporated Ewan McGregor's Black Mask in that story too.
Mm-hmm.
Just like having that like slew of villains for Nightwing to go up against, like the ones that Batman has come across before, but maybe Black Mask, maybe Two-Face, Penguin, you know?
Sure.
Those grounded villains. I would say I think the world is ready for a Flash movie.
Oh.
But
I mean, that's technically supposed to be happening.
yeah, supposed to, but that's
What about Green Lantern? I mean, that's like...
I think we still
We're still recovering.
We still need a few years.
It's like PTSD.
When did that movie come out? 2009?
No, it was like earlier than 2006?
2011.
2011.
So we need to wait a good 10 years until we bring that back. So
2021.
2021.
2021, you'll see the Green Lantern
is going to
in
be
theaters.
the Green Lantern Corps, and we're gonna get that story. But I mean, actually, no. If they do the Green Lantern story, how they were pitching it earlier on, where it's a buddy cop film, if they were to take these films, like you said, and make them all a different type of film, then maybe that works out for them. Shazam being a comedy big.
I think that's great.
Aquaman being like a galactic space movie under the water.
With a kaiju.
Yeah, with a kaiju. Green Lantern being a buddy cop film.
I think that's a smart way to go with Green
a buddy
Lantern.
cop film. Flash being... What would you pitch Flash as?
A heist comedy movie.
Yeah.
But you got to focus on the villains, though. I think that's the key.
The rogues.
Yeah, the rogues.
You got to
the
have
rogues
all
gallery.
the rogues.
I think the rogues... It should almost be a rogues gallery movie with the Flash.
Yeah. You know who I'd also throw into that film is Cyborg.
Yeah.
Because his dad is part of Star Labs. I think having Cyborg as kind of like the guy behind the techie guy, who can still come out from behind the chair and help out a little bit.
I got Layla defending me here. She says, "Joe, you aren't the Batman of THS. You're straightforward and honest." Do you think I'd be the Batman of THS?
Who you're straightforward and honest?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
Or would I be our Superman?
No, you'd be the Batman. You'd be the Batman. Which Justice League member would I be?
Oh, that's easy. I think you'd be the Flash.
Probably.
I think that's pretty easy. You'd be the Flash. It's always going to be like you doing something dumb and it's being like, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Or Guy Gardner. Guy Gardner.
I like Guy Gardner,
I
actually.
do too, actually.
Guy Gardner is like an underrated Green Lantern.
If they do make a Green Lantern movie, fuck Hal. Like, give me a Guy Gardner movie where it's just always mad.
Guy Gardner and Jim
and
John Stewart.
Jones. Yeah, John Stewart. Yeah, John Stewart. That'd be great.
Yes, that would be. It's like, oh man, it's gonna be like Lethal Weapon. It's Lethal Weapon.
So let's talk about this for a second, because we obviously know that we're going to get Shazam, but I do want to talk about the Joker and put some emphasis on this.
Okay.
Now, this isn't supposed to take place in the DCEU. This is supposed to be an origin story, but it's also kind of, I guess, in the DC multiverse, right?
Yeah.
Todd Phillips is directing. Joaquin Phoenix is starring.
That still like surprises me.
Joaquin Phoenix is starring, and it's also co-starring Zazie Beetz, who was in Deadpool, and she's also in Atlanta, and also Robert De Niro. I want to talk about because this movie on paper, and even in the stuff we've seen, you can check that out at #show.com if you haven't seen those images, or even the best fan theory about that movie is on that #show.com. I swear to you right now, if you go read the fan theory that Charles Murphy wrote about what is supposed to happen in that movie, because we were the first ones to... We've been tracking this movie from the get-go. From the character breakdowns to the story. And if you look at what we had in the story, it makes the most sense. However, not to derail me too much, this movie isn't just a supervillain movie to me. I feel like this is almost like a take on an actual, like, Oscar-worthy type of film.
Okay.
Are you looking forward to it?
I am. If it's like on par with like The Departed, do you remember that movie?
Mm-hmm.
And I think can open up if they throw in a few other characters, like smaller characters from the Arkham Asylum, maybe Victor Zsasz and all that.
You know what the most interesting part about that is going to be?
Talk louder.
No CG.
No CG.
Ooh. You know what, Ro? I think for this year's Halloween, you should dress up as that Joker.
You should be the Joker for Halloween.
Yeah.
I'll be Batman if you're the Joker.
All right.
Yes.
And you got to be Robin.
Damn it.
You choose. You can be the Robin or the
Wait,
Penguin.
I know which Robin you're thinking of, too.
You
No!
show off your calves in that television.
What the fuck? Or you know who should they? Since it's a Todd Phillips movie, who should they have in this film? Is that
Zach Galifianakis.
No, that wedding singer that's always in his films.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's not in the movie. Actually,
in some capacity.
The reason this movie excites me so much, though, is because let's be honest about this. Joaquin Phoenix turned down the role of Doctor Strange twice. He turned it down twice.
It is a crappy role. Doctor Strange sucks.
Fair enough. But let's be honest. But the thing is, he turned that down twice, and he accepted this role. What was it in the script? Oh, look at that super chat. We'll get to that in a second. What was it in the script that attached him is what really has me curious.
It's the inner psyche of the Joker.
That's what I love, though. I think that's going to be so brilliant to tell.
I think what's intriguing about
the Joker... I can't wait for that.
What's intriguing about the Joker is everyone always questions what his actual origin story is, and it's so many different stories. So I think that's probably what excites him the most. Like, what goes on through a head that creates a person like this. Like, I think that's what's
our super chat say, Jezzer?
From Artie Emenemini. They've done so well with the CW DC shows, but don't incorporate them into the movies. Is DC's biggest mistake. They do more than the movies for fans. I don't think they're ever going to incorporate the TV shows.
Unfortunately, I agree. I think that the DC shows are really good. I've caught up finally on all the shows except Black Lightning, but...
going to the comment above it, are you going to gloss over the pilot order of Batwoman?
Yep, sure am.
Not excited about it.
Batwoman was not the stellar part of that crossover to me. But I'm going to talk about this just for a second. The reason I think those DC shows don't...
Another super chat.
Well, let me finish my
Yeah,
sentence and then we'll go to that. But I think the reason those DC shows don't translate as well on film is because if you had Grant Gustin in a Flash movie, two things are the problem with that. Number one, you're
These
gonna
complementary characters. Too.
well, no. Number one, you're gonna lose him for X amount of time for shooting the Flash TV show, and number two, when he gets back from the Flash movie, he's gonna ask for a higher pay rate, and they're not gonna be able to afford him on a TV budget. That's the main problem with that. Go ahead, Jezzer.
Toku Kid says, "Is it just Joker, or has both Red Hood and the Joker?" I don't know if they're gonna do the Red Hood story for
Nah,
this
it's
one.
just the Joker from the
I think I don't think it's. I think it's just gonna be Joaquin Phoenix as like this very like deranged and like
Hey,
troubling
and I
character.
also
Huh.
wait. What does his comment say?
Artie's not nice. Artie is a meanie. Oh, because I said Emini.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just going to be this weird character that Joaquin Phoenix is going to play, and we're going to watch how he develops into this sociopath.
I'm really excited to see that
Yeah.
though, because I think that we're gonna get a and do we know if this is rated R or if this is PG-13?
Most
Yes, the
likely-
Joker.
I'm guessing
rated
it's
R,
rated R.
PG-13.
I
I'm
think
guessing rated R.
Yeah. I think it's
Oh
gonna be
man,
alright.
if it's rated R though,
It
we're
gets
gonna
longer.
get some crazy.
Crazy
This is
kills.
so what's interesting about this too is that in society right now, or in pop culture, I really should say, the biggest thing that's popular is crime drama podcasts. So imagine if this is the origin of a crime drama podcast or something. That could be the origin of this Joker movie. I think that is so intriguing to me. I'm really excited about this.
Who's another character in this that's going to stand out as far as who's going to be the conflict that
Thomas Wayne.
Thomas Wayne?
Thomas Wayne's cast in the movie. And I think that's an interesting thing because this obviously still
Do you
does...
wish it was Adam Baldwin still?
No,
Oh,
no,
not Adam
I'm fine
Baldwin,
with that. I'm fine with that. It's Brett Cullen, I believe.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. I do like the fact, though, that they're not shying away from the Batman origin.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's still a smart idea to do that. Here's the cool thing I think that this movie's opening doors with, is that this is giving DC, Warner Brothers, the opportunity to explore a cinematic multiverse. Not only cinematically, but even on the television side of things. So a lot of people are saying, oh, I wish that they would have cast Grant Gustin as the Flash. Well, maybe, just maybe, when all of this wraps up and they do like a big event like a Crisis on Infinite Earths movie, you can get one singular DC story that we can follow. I was just, and I was doing, before we did this tonight, because I knew we were going to talk about, obviously, I did some research and I watched the Justice League DVD, or Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of behind-the-scenes features, but one of them that really stood out to me is the origin of the Justice League. And they talk about how the way that they kind of did the comic books is Marv Wolfman said, you know what? Comics are getting too crazy. Nobody's really understanding the DC universe. We need to streamline it. We need to make sure that the best of the best is in our books. That was in the 80s. That was in the 80s. One of the biggest comic storylines ever. Now, imagine if they did that cinematically, though, or even television-wise as well, because the Flash is only going to run so many seasons.
Yeah.
But once they say that, you know what, we're done with the Flash TV series, okay, now we want Grant Gustin as the Flash. Who's to say it can't be,
Yeah.
right? I think that DC, with making this Joker movie, is starting to extend its wings to a bigger storytelling. It leaves them open to a bigger storytelling possibilities, and I'm really excited about that. What do you think about the Joker, though?
I think it's going to be a good film. I think it's just going to be a good, solid film for anybody to watch. I don't think anybody's going to classify it really
Can you
as
give me another
a
one of
comic.
these?
I don't think anybody's actually going to classify it as a comic book movie. I think it's going to surprise a lot of people.
I agree.
It's going to surprise a lot.
Do you think, though, that the Joker can be kind of like the Dark Knight of the current iteration of comics?
I think so.
Or
I think
comic
so.
movies?
Oh, another someone. It's not what they said, but another cool character to add to this movie, if he is Alfred.
Oh, to this movie, to
Yeah.
this iteration, yeah, absolutely,
Yeah,
I agree.
You know, Alfred having that weird past or that unique past. Too.
Let's wrap us up with some DC and talk about Wonder Woman 84.
Ooh.
Now we know that Cheetah has been cast
Yeah.
as
Kristen Wiig.
Kristen Wiig. Wonder Woman 84 is going to be bright. It's going to take place in the 80s. We also got Pedro Pascal playing Maxwell Lord. What?
Maxwell Lord in the 80s. That's crazy. crazy.
What does Wonder Woman 84 excite you?
I think it's gonna be a fun movie. I don't know if it's gonna be
More excited for Wonder Woman 84 or Spider-Man Far From Home?
I think Spider-Man Far From Home.
See, for me, it's Wonder Woman 84.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the thing that's like making you super excited about it?
I think Gal Gadot is the perfect choice for Wonder Woman. And I think that since Patty Jenkins is back, she really can helm that story. And I'm really excited because I feel like it's very intriguing. I feel like they're almost taking a page out of the Marvel's book with the way that they're going to do Cheetah. Because it seems very organic and I also like the fact that it's being set in the 80s.
For Cheetah, what are they taking? What do you think they're taking away from
So
Marvel?
I heard that her costume, at least when the movie starts, is just like a cheetah print like jumpsuit that you would see in the 80s.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm kind of on board with that.
I've been hearing that Wonder Woman might get a different suit, the New 52 suit.
I heard the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that though.
Yeah. If she gets a New 52 suit, that's gonna be dope.
And also, Wonder Woman to me has been DC's best movie to date. So for me, it's almost kind of like Wonder Woman is the Captain America franchise of Marvel.
Okay. Oh yeah,
right?
it definitely
or
is.
DC.
Definitely is. The first Captain America film, it plays a lot like Wonder Woman did.
I'm excited for that, and I think that the anticipation and we haven't really seen much from Wonder Woman 84, which keeps that intrigue level up for me. I'm excited about that, and we also know that Steve Trevor's coming back. So how's that
in some form? Yeah.
Well, I know how that form is though, unfortunately, but how does that play into it? I'm just excited for that.
Swinging on a swing.
And I like that. Yeah. But I think look, she's there. Look at Steve. Look at that
members only jacket.
Do you remember? You have. I feel like you have a members.
I have two. I have a black and white one. Yeah.
Why don't you missed opportunity to wear it for today? But I think that I'm excited a lot for this movie. If I had to say as a whole, which universe I'm excited more for, I mean, listen, I'm excited for Endgame, Avengers Endgame a ton. That's probably my number one. But other than that, I would definitely say the 3 DC movies I'm more excited for than the 3 Marvel movies.
That is true. That's true. It more excited because with those films, there's going to be hints to what their plans are for the future.
Right.
With the DC universe, with Marvel, you can already anticipate what they're going to do next.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too with Marvel is that, I mean, they're used to taking leaps and bounds on characters, but I guess they're used to taking leaps and bounds on characters, and I think that that's paying off for them. But listen, once you get to something like the Eternals,
you think that's a gamble? You think that's like?
I think Guardians of the Galaxy was a gamble, but hey, what do I know? It was a great movie, right? But yes, I do think the Eternals is a gamble. I think, and now there's rumors that Black Knight is another character.
Ooh,
Namor is another one.
Yeah.
I'm sure that
Namor.
There's a lot of characters out there. With DC, however, they have such a rich history with comic book characters. I feel like they should be taking the same gambles. Like a Booster Gold movie starring Nathan Fillion.
Yes.
And it was Booster Gold and Blue Beetle, called it Gold and Blue. Nathan Fillion and Alan Tudyk.
Yep.
You're right there. Your box office success.
Who would be the villain?
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares
No
at that
one
point?
cares.
That's a straight up buddy cop. That's a comedy.
Yeah.
And I think that works because a lot of people are going to want to see that. And I think that to me, like if I was to choose, another one is Adam Strange. Like if they were to make him like the space Indiana Jones, that works.
Isn't that what they're going towards for Guardians of the Galaxy 2? Oh no, that was Adam Warlock. My bad.
Yeah. But no, there's a lot of DC characters in which I think that they can really aim high. Or
there's so many characters they haven't even touched yet.
Yeah, and it surprises me that they're not doing that though. Like another one is Green Arrow. And honestly, I was thinking about this when I was think about this. If they made a Green Arrow movie, but listen, Justin Hartley at this point is on a huge show
with This Is Us.
With This Is Us. And what if he comes back as the Green Arrow? Not the Smallville Green Arrow, but a new Green Arrow that's like, I think that he's a big enough star to surround him with a bigger cast. He can do it.
I don't know about Green Arrow. Maybe another character.
Or I was gonna say Booster Gold because he would be a great Booster Gold also.
I don't know about Green Arrow.
I think he'd be a great Green Arrow.
Yeah, because you kind of need a rugged Green Arrow.
Rugged Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Who would you cast as Green Arrow if we were doing a Green Arrow?
I have no idea actually, but I don't think Justin Hartley.
Fair enough. But let me ask you this: when you saw Aquaman, because you didn't watch the beginning of the movie, which was a shame. But were you impressed by the giant kaiju
I was surprised by it. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Well, did it impress you? Did you think it was bad or good?
I think it was good. I think when he got his iconic suit, I was like, oh shit, yeah, they're going for it. They're going for it.
Well, speaking of giant kaijus, Johnny interviewed somebody about giant kaijus.
Oh, hey, everybody, guess what? It's Johnny Parker here with Sam Humphreys.
What up?
So he just released a new book, and guess what? We wanted to find out about it. It's got kaiju. It's got young girls. It sounds awesome. So let's talk to him about it. So Sam, can you tell us about your new book?
Yeah, absolutely. It's called Goliath Girls. It's about 3 best friends who have raised their own giant monster. It's all about friendships and destroying cities. It's just out on Comixology now. It's digital only, so you gotta get it on Comixology. But it is free if you have Comixology Unlimited, Kindle Unlimited, or Amazon Prime.
Oh, that's dope. So hey, free comics right there. So make sure you sign up for it, and you get it digitally too, so you get the save space at the same time. Sounds like a good deal.
Thinking ahead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Boom. So let me ask you this: what were some of your kaiju influences when you worked on this book? Like, what helped you fall in love with kaiju?
Boy, what helped me fall in love with kaiju was just when I was a kid, growing up in Minneapolis, watching just an endless stream of kaiju movies, Japanese imports on the local channel, Channel 29. Wasn't even like an affiliate, wasn't like NBC or anything. It was just a local channel, and they would just run random kaiju movies Saturday morning, Sunday morning, and I just get like super hyped up on sugar cereal. And I get that like sugar focus, you know? I get like Super Saiyan, like looking at the TV, and I would get so engaged with these monsters. And I just fell in love with the scale and the mythology, and also like, you know, a little bit of the spirituality of kaiju and giant monster.
And so think about this, though, a lot of times when it comes to kaiju, like you said, they're giant monsters, and they're supposed to be seen as like these like terrorizing things. But like a lot of times, like writers and directors, they take the path of like explore more of these characters' emotional side. Do you feel you're doing that more in your book, or you portray more as a giant monster side?
Well, a little of both. You know, it's a total package, right? They are giant monsters. They are prone to destroy cities and fight each other. Like, that's the fun stuff, right? Like, you gotta have that. Exactly. But what I really was interested in doing in Goliath Girls, you know, the first page talks about all these characters are of the Kaiju generation. They're of the generation that doesn't remember a world without giant monsters happening. And I wanted to see how they would look at Kaiju differently. The people, you know, it's like the people who don't remember what the world was like before the internet, and how they're changing the world by looking at things differently. People who don't remember what things were like before 9/11, and how they look at the world, how they change things, they look at things differently. And I felt like there would be a generational shift exactly like that if Kaiju started coming up. You know, a lot of great movies, almost all the Godzilla movies, it's all about people who lived in a normal world and then Kaiju came and destroyed that, right? This is about people who grew up with Kaiju being a fact of life.
Awesome. It's really interesting that you say that, because like for a long time there wasn't Kaiju around. Like we had like a Godzilla movie here or there, but for a long time it wasn't around. Now we kind of see a resurgence of Kaiju coming back today with like the King Kong movies, the new Godzilla films. A lot of things.
Skull Island.
Skull Island.
Oh,
man. So good.
Oh,
so
man.
good.
Evangelion, come on.
Oh, so
Yeah,
excited.
yeah.
So excited. So let me ask you this though. Why do you think Kaiju's making such a strong comeback right now? Like, what is it that's touching the hearts of people, making it come back to the scene?
I think I think we're coming to terms with destruction on a lot of levels, whether it's like very acute things that happen all at once, like 9/11 or something like that, or whether it's something that's more gradual, more building, things that like cloud our lives, you know, like climate change, where we know it's bad, but it's moving so slow, we just don't know what to do about it. I feel like it gives us something to latch onto when we give it a persona. If climate change is a monster, it's something to point at and look at, something that we can either combat or empathize with, something that we can problem solve, you know, or maybe something that we could even be friends with and create like a relationship. Exactly, right? Wouldn't it be great if we could have a relationship with climate change where we could understand each other, you know what I mean?
Like,
I mean,
warming, I see where you're coming from, but we don't want to die.
exactly.
So
Maybe climate change be like, you know what, I get you.
Exactly.
And that might be easier than actually convincing people to do anything real about climate change,
Oh,
but
for sure.
I digress. So I think that's why people like giant monsters, or they respond to giant monsters, because it's something with eyes, something with a face, something that they can relate to.
Okay, awesome. Awesome, super dope. So let me ask you this: like, to give like our watchers out there a taste of your personal taste on now, what were some of your favorite current kaiju movies that came out like in the past like 5 to 10 years? What's something that like really resonated with you? Because as I was taking a flip through your book and whatnot, I know as I was flipping through and I was like, wait, is that a Trevor? Is that a Graboid? Is that a Graboid right there? And so I was like, oh man. So I was like, so I saw some deep cuts in there, a couple Easter eggs and whatnot. So I'm interested to see what like helped influence this.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of Easter eggs. There's a ton of different influences, not just kaiju stuff, but just anime, manga, video games, all sorts of stuff. I loved Kong the Skull Island. Thought that was a fantastic movie. I cannot wait for the follow-up. I think that's going to be so good. Love Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim is fantastic. I love Evangelion. The original series and the relaunches, you know, the 1.0, all that kind of stuff. But also we have a lot of, like, there's elements of Cowboy Bebop in there. There's elements of Nausicaa in there. There's elements of Fooly Cooly in there. You know, there's all sorts of stuff. Alti from Inside, the artist and co-creator, we're both huge manga fans, huge anime fans. So we love taking our favorite stuff and pulling them apart and taking like the coolest part about it and throwing it in the mix. That is Goliath Girls.
That sounds so dope. Would you, if you had to compare, I know you anime manga fan myself.
Yeah.
If you had to compare it to a style, would you say this is going more like the shonen style or more the magical girl genre? Or a little blend of the two?
I think it's a little both. I think there's elements of shoujo in there, definitely with the girls and their, you know, this is very relationship based. I keep saying this is like it's like Pitch Perfect, but you know, when things get emotional, instead of singing a song, there's a giant monster battle, right?
There it is.
See, there you go. So this is really not just about giant monsters, but it's about it's about, yeah, exactly. It's about to get saucy in here. It's about the friendships. It's about the former friendships. It's about frenemies. It's about exes. It's about allies. It's about, you know, there's a lot of deep history, especially in issue 3. We'll see a lot of deep history between these characters that go back a lot. Oh. Thank God. We don't have to evacuate. All right, cool. Yeah, all right.
All right, so again, awesome. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. Again, congratulations on the book. It looks amazing. The word choice you chosen for is awesome. So wish you a lot of success, and thanks for talking to us.
My pleasure. Thank you all at home.
Sam Humphries and the Goliath Girls. It's amazing. Go check it out on Comixology. It's an amazing book in support of Sam Humphries and independent creators everywhere. Just like Johnny Parker the second. He doesn't like being called Johnny Parker 2. JP2.
JP2.
Also likes being called, what is it, like shoe thug?
Johnny Dope Kicks.
Johnny Dope Kicks. Same difference. But let's wrap this up now. If you had to choose a winner, or not a winner, but if you had to say let's go in order of the 6 movies. I mean, if you want to put Spawn in there and also Hellboy in there, you can. But out of all and Glass, I guess, too. But if you want to put superhero movies in an order, what would your ranking be?
Oh, damn. Endgame.
Endgame for me, too. Number 1.
Was not that Endgame is number 1.
Joker for me is number 2.
Yeah, Joker number 2. Captain Marvel.
For me, I think I go Shazam.
Yeah, Captain Marvel and then Shazam.
I probably go Captain Marvel, Spider-Man,
and then after Shazam, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then.
Oh man, maybe I put Wonder Woman. Man, fuck this.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. If you want to find out what we thought, go to Jezzer's Instagram page. What?
THS Hashtaggers.
Yeah, go to THS Hashtaggers where you can join and be a part of our community. But if you want to know the inside track about the Joker movie, which to me could be the best superhero movie or best supervillain movie, at least of the year. If you want to find out what's going on with the story that nobody else knows, check out thathashtagshow.com. Charles Murphy wrote a brilliant piece about the story and what he thinks it is. Now, let me preface this with this, is that we were the first ones to get all the character breakdowns. He laid them out and put piece by piece what he thinks the story is and how it plays out. And it's very, very intriguing.
Yeah.
Very intriguing. So go check that out at thathashtagshow.com. Thank you for joining us for the new year. Happy New Year's to all you guys out there. We're going to be back this weekend with much for joining us. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button to stay up to date with everything trending
in geek pop culture.
See you next week. I won't be here next week.